Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Sebastian Ryder, and you tapped into another episode of Cut Different TV. And today we got a real interesting cat on the show today. He's got his own podcast. He's doing the music thing. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about relationships. He's talking about love. He's giving y'all a spectrum of R&B, but also giving y'all bars as well, man. We got my brother Oyetti in the building.
Thank you for having me, for real.
Yeah, man.
This is great.
It's a blessing, bro. What's it feel like to be on Cut Different, man? Do you feel cut different yet?
Yeah, like this is my first time. I was telling you guys my first interview, so this is special for real.
Yeah, man.
Honestly.
And so you've been making music for a while.
Yep.
Hailing from New Haven, Connecticut.
Yep.
Shout out Connecticut, man. We've been getting, man. Connecticut is all love, bro. We might have to.
Yeah.
We might move. Nah, we're not moving to Connecticut. I like the city, but shit.
It's a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's fire, man. But Connecticut, mad love, bro. Everybody we've had on here from CT is really doing their thing. So, as far as you producing music, making music, doing your stuff, you just started really kind of taking it seriously like 2 years ago. But prior to that, you've been writing for a while.
Yes, sir.
So talk to me a little bit about that journey growing up.
Well, initially I just started writing 2018. So I was going into college. And so when I started writing, I was like, I'm pretty good at it. Like I can do like what, the typical trend is. But I wanted to set a bar for myself as well, like see where I can be different wise. So I would study like Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Kanye, Cole, Kendrick, like a lot of guys that just were different, cut different, you know what I mean? And so when I would study them, I would like take different things that they would do. Like J. Cole, he has a lot of poetic schemes like alliteration, same with Kendrick. So I try to like instill those into my bars. And over the course of those 4 years of just building a foundation with that, like I felt confident enough to, put that out there. But it took a while. It took a long while. What initially had happened was when we were leaving college, me and my ex broke up. And from there, that kind of sent my heart into a frenzy, low key. And I was like, I need something that I can like relieve all this emotion, all this stuff. And so I just started singing instead of rapping. Like I knew I could sing. I was a little versatile with it. But also what made me sing a little more, I didn't feel like my rapping voice was as good. But I knew I could work on my singing voice and really express how I feel, go through all those emotions, like the roller coaster of emotions that I always say. And so far, it's been a journey. Yeah. It's been a journey for real. The first 2 years it's a slow start, but it's a steady progress. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah. Honestly.
And, they say the journey is the destination, right? Like
Absolutely.
The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, Santiago, all that shit.
Yep.
And so it never really stops. They say like mastery is, 10 years of experience, 10 years of doing your thing in a specific space. You got a lot going on from a communication standpoint, media, mediums and all this stuff. So talk to me a little bit, though, about, because what I find a lot of the times when artists first start making music, right, like they're inspired, like you said, by the greats, Hove, Wayne, all those guys. And so you're finding your cadence, you're finding your flow. The substance sometimes isn't really there, right? And it's like, all right, I'm going to rap about bitches and getting money and, going out, getting fly, whatever. And you said you had a relationship that was what, the whole time you were in college?
Yeah. Not the whole time, the last year.
The last year.
Yeah.
And you fell in love, right?
Yeah.
And so then from there, when that happened, walk me through that situation and how that affected you, like, creatively.
It was, like, to the point where I knew I was good at writing. Like, I knew I was a great songwriter. I think my broken heart just wanted to sing, though. Like, it just wanted to cry, honestly. And so initially when we broke up, I was the one that broke up with her, actually, because I knew she was going to L.A., I was like, I'm not going to try to stop you from you doing yourself and everything. And so that kind of fucked with her at first. So for the month after that, I was the one that was like kind of consoling her, like where she would like, feel upset and everything. Then it just felt like all of a sudden, like she just like flipped low key, like she got over it type shit. And then that's when I started grieving and I felt like I didn't really have anyone to, console me with it. Yeah. So I've been on this whole journey for the past almost 2 years now, just like trying to express myself, really tell the story that was never told, because I feel like, me personally, I held some stuff back that I wanted to say at certain times. And so I'm just saying it with my music, low key. And
High key.
high key,
Yeah.
high key, very high key. But yeah, it definitely catalyzed who I knew I wanted to be at that point. You know, with my broken heart and everything. Like, I knew that this is how I wanted to portray the story, because now I had a story to tell. You know.
Damn. So what it sounds like is you were in this situation. You feel me? And I'm harping on this because we gonna get into the relationships talk, because he got a podcast where he be talking about relationships. So we gonna pull that out of you on this.
Yeah.
Pause. But so you were in this relationship. You are thinking that you're making the best decision, right? Because you're like, you know, the long distance, whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
At first, she's hurt because she's like, damn, like, I didn't know you was just going to let me go like that. But in your mind, I feel like as men, if you make that situation, if you make that decision, and then after that, you're still there and you're still consoling, you're starting to think in your mind like, okay, well, maybe like we can figure out a way to make this work. Because if shit, like, I was transparent, I did my job, I was honest in how it made me feel, but I'm still here. And then when that switch flipped, you're like, damn. Like, this is kind of the reality of this situation.
It felt so quick, bro.
I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. Nah, it hit me like a truck. I'm not going to lie. So I'm glad that you brought that up, actually, because what'd you say about the, before with the, damn, you said something. I was like, I want to harp on that a little bit.
We can cut for a second. What was I saying? Oh, going into the situation, you're breaking up, you're thinking you're making the right decision.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So we'll start from there. So
yeah, so yeah, I think I'm making the right decision breaking up with her. I didn't want to make her feel like pressure or anything, so I was like, go ahead and do your thing. And then when emotions flipped and she got over it, I was still grieving about it. I was like, this might be like the biggest regret of my life.
Because you never got a chance to grieve. Because you made the decision and then had to be there for her.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it was like, I wish I hadn't done it, but I had already done it. It was too late. And so I feel like with the music, I was like, if I don't express myself somehow and I don't use this as like my vehicle to do that, that's going to be another regret that I have. And so me talking about what my regrets are, me wishing that I had never done it, that's what I put into the music. So I guess really, I always say like I'm a simp kind of guy, and I express it in my music. Like like I feel like I put my emotions right there on the canvas with the music. So
yeah, and so you go through a situation like that. Now it's still obviously strong. It's giving you that, you know, creative outlet, right? Yep. Which it sucks that the hardest things we go through. Like, I was talking to Eastside Lenny. He was sitting in that same chair as you, and he was saying he found that like people like him as an artist more when he's dealing with heartbreak.
It sucks.
Like, but when he's happy, like everybody's like, "Yo, we need you to go through something again."
Yeah.
So how do you? And we'll get into the relationship shit on a just an overview level, but when you do get over that situation, do you then look for another how do you then get inspired to continue to make the same type of music if you get over it?
I'll be honest, like it's been, like we said, it's been almost 2 years. I should be over it.
Yeah, but shit.
Every time I hear something, that's the first thing I go to. First topic that I go to. So I don't know if I'm not subconsciously over it or if it's just an easy outlet for me to like just flow in a certain way. If I really do get over it and like I just stop like singing about it every song or whatever, we get to that point, I'm gonna find different ways of communicating my emotions, whatever I am feeling.
Yeah.
So like every day I wake up, I write for 10 minutes, just random notes and everything. So like by the time that situation comes, hopefully I'll have some stuff written down where I can go back to it and be like, oh, this is how I felt. Maybe I can elaborate more on this and make it into a song.
Fire.
You know what I mean? So it's just
you got
little things.
You got 365 prompts like Chat GPT.
low key.
Yeah. Yeah. Word up, man. So do you think you ever gonna get back with Shorty or not?
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Do you still
that's how.
talk? You still
No,
communicate?
not really. No.
Oh man.
There's been a couple times and I was like excited, but like reality hit back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so
So we'll stop giving her attention right now. So moving into just like kind of your creative process as an artist.
yep.
Obviously, like you said, you're writing every morning. You're putting together prompts. You're doing these things that give you content to look back on to build out songs. Walk me through your time in the studio. You built out your own studio now.
Yeah.
Walk me through what that's like. You go in there. What's the vibe like?
Honestly, throughout the day, like when I'm doing random stuff, I'll always have my phone on me. And if I have an idea, like I'll literally just take it out, record it. And I know that when I go downstairs, I have something to base off like what I want to do. So I would try to recreate what I had in my mind. Like I'll have the beat like recorded. I'll have some lyrics down and stuff. And I just try to recreate what I had at that time. And that's honestly how I had a lot of the songs that I've produced so far. I haven't like recorded them or have them done yet or anything, but I feel like that's a pretty good system for me, especially because I feel like those ideas that I have initially, they need to be somewhere where I can go back to them. And that's actually huge because I have like 2 songs that I went really deep into my TikTok, like back in the day, like at least a year and a half ago, and I totally forgot that I had them. And so when I went back and I saw them, I was like, yo, this might be something that I could,
fire.
yeah, like I can do something with this. And I literally made another, I think it's on my second YouTube video or third YouTube video. It's a production that I had, and I was just like, yeah, this needs to be out there. Because I had so many different ideas just flowing. And one thing too, the songwriting, when I started songwriting and everything like that was definitely me falling in love with music. But when I started producing, like that was like me falling in love with music all over again. And so like I really feel strongly attached to music now, just because I'm able to do both. With that, whatever idea that I have, like I can create something from both. But yeah, like I think it's cool too because whenever I'm producing in that sense, and I have some stuff that might not line up with what I had thought would sound good, I literally just bring it to the end. I'll make a new beat from that and like have like a beat switch and stuff. So like I'm really into like the beat switches. And I was actually just thinking in the car too, like I think I do that because like it could be like a shift of my emotions, and I'm putting that into the beat switch. So like that's like a new strategy that I think that I can kind of harp on and really master.
Yeah, and it's working right now. Like that's the type of
Yeah.
stuff that's trending. Like you give them one vibe and then you switch, give them completely different
Yeah.
vibe, and essentially like capture those 2 emotions in one song, like you said. And I think even sitting here listening to you talk about it, like I can see the gears turning in your mind. Like damn, like you're coming up with ideas on the spot.
Yeah,
That's what Cut Different does, everybody, man.
for real.
But yeah, man, so being cut different is, obviously from an artistic standpoint, expressing yourself and presenting a new element of, artistry, right? Whether it
Absolutely.
be a new sound, whether it be a new way of presenting that music, whatever it might be, performance styles, etc. But I want to get into like the intrinsics. So growing up, how were you encouraged to kind of do whatever you want to do? Because you're balancing, you went to school, you did the traditional thing, but
Yeah.
you still maintain that creativity. Something had to influence that.
Honestly, like I was going up through elementary school and everything. Like I was a pretty good writer. Like I would be like getting like, I hate talking about grades and stuff, but I get like 4s on the writing prompts and stuff. And like I think what I lacked was detail. But that's kind of where I stopped writing. So like I stopped writing before I started again in 2018. And I feel like that was a big, I wish I hadn't. Like that affected me in a little bit, or a lot growing up. But I think it was because I got pressured into people like pushing me into different directions. Like people were like, yo, you should play basketball. So I started playing basketball. I was great at basketball. Went to college for it. So that's why I went to Western New England.
Oh, I didn't
but
know
it
that.
was
I mean, I can tell by looking at you. You what,
yeah,
like 6'3", 6'4"?
6'2".
6'2"?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But it was raw talent because I didn't really love it as much as I thought I did.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't really put in the effort like how I should have. That's another one of my regrets. We talk about that on the podcast all the time. But that's just one thing that I wish I experienced, but still had writing, on me. And then my dad's always pushing me like stay, to school, like stay towards school, like always have your mind on school, because you could always find something good out of that. But once I graduated, I was like, I just need to do what I want to do. Like I need to do what I want to do because I need to express myself in that sense. And if I keep on trying to do what everyone's telling me to do, like I'm never going to be the full potential person I could be, or at least strive for that. So honestly, just getting back to the writing was probably the best decision of my life. I'm not going to lie.
Word up.
Just having that outlet to go to if I feel like I need to express myself and everything like that. So it's a blessing.
Definitely.
But I was going to say, as far as my situation, my biggest goal right now in life, like my biggest goal is to have a writing academy so kids don't necessarily have to go through the same thing I did. Like I'm lucky that I was able to find writing again later on in life. But like I said, I feel like kids, when I stopped writing, that was like when I was most creative in life itself. And not having that initiative to write down stuff at that time, I feel like it was a little detrimental to me. So if I'm able to help kids, stay on track and just stay creative, because they're the future of our world, you know what I mean? So if they're the ones that are going to be creating things, keep their minds active. Like, especially if that's what they want to do early on in life, like let them do that. Because they're going to be the ones that change the world. So like that's my biggest goal. And I keep that as motivation every time I'm thinking of like quitting or whatnot. And I'm like, nah, like I have something to prove, low key.
Word.
High key.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Barack Obama in the building. Make some noise. No, I'm just playing. But that's fire, though, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's worthy of a subscribe and turning on the notification bell as well. But so obviously you're balancing these ideas, right? Like you're balancing the music. You got a podcast with your homeboys.
Yeah.
And so how, when you think about from a future perspective, the next 5 years, 10 years for Oyetti, how do you see yourself balancing all these different creative outlets, and where do you see yourself from a standpoint of a music career as you continue to develop this skill set, as you continue to develop these other forms of media as well?
Definitely in the future, I'm going to learn how to prioritize what's most important to me. But obviously, you got to just work proactively and just set aside time for each thing that you're involved with. For example, like LeBron, he plays basketball, obviously, but he also has the shop, which I don't think they have a season out recently, but I was like thinking to myself, like he's playing basketball, but he's also putting his time and effort into reaching others that might not be able to see him at that time, but he could talk about certain stuff. And so it's just like, you just got to prioritize.
Yeah.
So in the future when things are big and we got to be there at certain episodes and whatnot, you just gotta manage it all. As far as Oyetti in the next 5 to 10 years, I definitely want to get sync placements. I know that that's where the money's at. So I want to be able to reach a lot of music supervisors and different sound libraries and stuff like that, so I can have my music playing in the back of people's minds while they're watching shows and stuff. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like I'm the star, like I'm in your face all the time. That's not the goal. The goal is to try and make a living out of this and to show that expressing yourself, it gets appreciated in different ways. So like if my music is playing on different TV, like at least I know like that song is good enough for a certain scene. Like I'm provoking emotion out of that song from people watching it. So I'm just trying to just be myself in my music, and wherever it gets me, it gets me.
So you're a writer, a student of the game.
Absolutely.
You're passionate about giving back and getting involved from a philanthropic standpoint. Big words. What would you say makes you cut different as a whole, though?
Definitely my drive, my work ethic, knowing that nothing is too hard to accomplish. And I definitely get that from my dad. Not gonna lie, like he puts a lot of pressure on me and my two brothers, but he made me know that I can always challenge myself. And I think that's what I've been doing my whole life without me knowing. Like going to school, playing basketball at the same time, like that's tough as a student athlete. And then my last year, I started working a lot, while also finishing school, taking like 7 classes. Just always, I don't want to say multitask, but always giving myself a challenge to feel like I have to do more and never feel complacent. So just like knowing that nothing's ever too hard. And I think recently I had a what do you want to call it, like an ultimatum or not an ultimatum?
Epiphany?
Yeah, epiphany.
Yeah.
Yes, I had an epiphany. And I was like you got to start doing more. Like you feel like you're doing a lot right now, but you really got to lock in type shit and really just be like, this is the life you chose right now.
Yeah.
So you just got to give it your all and don't worry about like feeling tired or none of that shit. Like you're as young as you are for a reason right now. And so it's time to go.
Word.
That's how I feel. And just like I said, doing everything, nursing, writing, producing, editing, like trying to make the videos for YouTube. I edit all those for myself, like the one on my page. So like doing all that stuff, setting aside time, that's what makes me cut different.
Damn. So doing it all yourself, and you mentioned producing as well. You make beats?
Yeah.
So you do it all. Do you mix, master, and engineer as well?
Mixing and mastering, like that's what I'm trying to dive into more and learn that.
So talk about that element of, because they always say like the artist is the last one to see anything from a monetary standpoint, but also, everybody else gets it before the artist, the engineer, the producer, the people that mix and master the tracks. Then it's the artist, you feel me? And then, of course, the artist gets to be forefront on the stage, performing the music. What is it like for you, or how has that affected you or given you an extra boost of confidence to know that you're capable of all those different things?
It's honestly knowing that people will try to be vultures off me. If I'm putting my mind, my lyrics, and my stuff to a certain song, I didn't make the song. They have that control if I don't buy the song or nothing like that. So that's initially what started me to be like, just make the beat yourself. Like start out. I know you're going to be bad, but just start out and at least have like that foundation. You're going to get better every day if you keep on doing it every day, if you really just do that. So I think that was honestly, I started making beats on my phone on GarageBand. So that's how I started it. And then I got my MacBook like last year, summer, and started cooking up on GarageBand again. And that's just what I'm mastering right now. So, yeah, those beats that he was playing before, like I made those.
On GarageBand?
Yeah.
Yo.
I'm telling you, like, it's just mastering whatever platform you have. You just got to master it and just really put your mind to it. So
that's crazy. And I feel like people are asleep on Garage. I mean, obviously you've got Logic, Pro Tools, all that shit, Fruity Loops. But if you just get a MacBook, that comes with GarageBand. You can just go in there and master that, cook, do what you need to do, and you can get plugins and all that extra shit too, right?
Yeah.
So have you started delving into like other softwares, or you just focused on that?
Not yet. I tried FL Studios, but I was like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? So I was just like, let me just really master GarageBand first, and then if I need to up my game with whatever else I need, I can go to something else.
Okay.
Probably go to Logic after because they're both
on the same platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit more about your extracurriculars, like the podcast, GG's podcast, right?
Yeah, GG podcast.
So Talk a little bit about that. How did that come about? What are the type of things you talk about on there? And then we're gonna get into some real perspective and insight from you on these relationships and all this extra shit that you be talking about.
Bet. So actually, let's see where I go. So me and my boy Ty, he plays at Hofstra right now. Shout out Ty. He's doing his thing.
He plays what, ball?
Yeah, he played Ty Thomas.
Basketball or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Basketball. Like fifth scoring leader in the nation right now.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so he's like that. He's like that. Me and him, we met through basketball in sophomore year of high school. And then, like, we started working out a little more in college. And then his boy Miller, I met Miller. So we were all, I knew Miller, but I wasn't as close to him as I was to Ty. But then their boy Lush, who's now like one of my best friends, we were like, yo, let's go to Florida. And so we went to Florida, but me and Lush had not met. Like, we met one time. So it was like us four. I'm like kind of with a stranger. But it ended up being like the best experience, like out of everything that could have happened, out of all the people that we could have had, us four was like the best thing that could have happened. Mm-hmm. And then 2022 comes, we graduate, and I remember us like having like certain talks that we had. Like they would always do like wine talks, like where they just drink wine, just talk about certain shit, like at the crib and stuff. So I was like, why don't we just like make a podcast? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
that's how it always starts. You're just having a conversation. You're like, damn, I wish I would have recorded that shit.
And so we did. Like, we started on Zoom because my boy Lush was in Argentina playing soccer. But we always set aside time to just have like an hour and a half talk. And it was great, honestly. Like, I felt like it was mainly, at first it was to keep us together. But the more we talked, the more people liked us and stuff. So we're actually getting a lot more traction now, which is awesome. We're getting to it like you guys. I see the setup and everything, and it's like, fuck, like we gotta up our game now, and I see it too. So it's
all
like,
relative, bro.
Yeah, I know. But he came home. Lush came home, so now we just set up in his crib. Like that's where the setup is and everything. And we just talk. We just talk about our lives now, and it's getting big. Like we actually have plans now for monetization and all that stuff. So it's like, it's crazy how things just manifest. Mm-hmm. Just talking manifests.
What do you find resonates more with you know, because in the music you're talking to the ladies, and from a standpoint of what I hear you talking about with the podcast, you're speaking to guys, giving them perspective and talking about the ladies. So, and obviously having the perspective, your boy Ty Thomas, right?
Yeah.
He's a hooper. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they deal with women in a different way. You feel me? You're a hooper as well. But at that level, it's kind of like, you know, you got fans. And so how do you balance those situations? And so what are the type of things that y'all talk about? What resonates most with your audience?
I think the would you rathers. So like we have like a bunch of things where we like come up, like most of it is on the spot though. So it's like, would you be like, damn, I'm blanking on one that we had. Or the other day they were actually talking about silly stuff too. Like if you go on a date or if you go to someone's house, are you gonna take a shit in their house?
Okay.
Like a girl type shit.
Yeah.
Like you're literally on a date. You're gonna go take a shit. You gonna blow up her bathroom. Like she knows it's you, so it's like you trying to make that first impression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Silly stuff like that, and then we also get into like real relationship stuff, like experiences that we had. So like for me, I'll be honest, like I didn't communicate a lot in my relationship, so like things were cloudy, and so like Ty or Lush or Miller, they'd be like, well, you just got to speak your mind. You know what I mean? Like, just be honest with them and everything. So it's a lot easier said than done at times, you know what I mean? But I see, like, where I need to be, like, a little better in my relationships from hearing what they say as well. And I'm sure what I say, they start to, you know, open their minds up to as well. It's mainly just different perspectives and just trying to open up our minds to everyone's perspective.
I fuck with that.
You should really come. Y'all should definitely.
I'll pull up. Shit.
For real.
We gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna definitely pull up on y'all boys. Where do y'all shoot at?
Woodbridge, Connecticut.
Okay, so that's what, like an hour and a half from here?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll make it happen, bro. We'll figure it out. Definitely. I want to come on. I want to come on and talk about some crazy shit. The water.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you.
I want to come on and talk about I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about, polarities between the masculine and feminine. I want to talk about entrepreneurship, working, also just having fun.
Yeah,
too.
for real.
So you mentioned earlier when you first came in that you talk a lot about relationships. Is that because you were in a relationship that had an impact on you from a standpoint of creativity? So now you're like on some shit where you're like, this is my, or is it, how do you, where's that come from?
I just think that's a main thing about all of our lives. So it kind of just happened like that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I was just saying before, I think it's crazy how we connected it from the music that I write to what we talk about on the podcast. But relationships isn't the only thing we talk about. I think it's just the main thing that we do, because most of it is just about our lives. Mm. But like I said, the relationships, I think we all deal with them in different ways. So it's definitely something to talk about.
What's your ideal relationship look like?
Two people working together to grow financially, mentally, physically, just wanting to get better and better. Mm-hmm. Together, though. Mm. And that means thinking on your feet a lot of the times. It's not always going to be so obvious of what you have to do in a certain situation, but just try and be proactive and communicate as well. Mm-hmm. I'm really harping on communication nowadays.
Yeah.
Because I feel
key, bro.
Yeah, with anything, not work relationships, student to teacher relationships, just communicate. All that stuff is huge. Friendships, all that stuff.
Definitely. So would you shit in the shorty's crib? What was your stance on that? Because I would definitely take a shit.
I wasn't there at that one, but I definitely would have to.
Yeah.
If I needed to, what am I gonna do? Go outside?
I mean, shit. You gotta get it how you live and shit. We the prize, right? We the prize. So shit. But if the prize gotta take a shit, the prize gotta take a shit.
For real, for real.
We gonna figure it out. We gonna do what we need to do. But yeah, man, we gonna definitely link. I'm gonna definitely come over to your spot. We're gonna make something happen. So what I want to do in closing is just kind of get a better understanding of what people can expect from you moving forward. Mm-hmm. If you want to plug the pod, you want to plug your music. Yeah. Just let them know what they can expect from Oyetti moving forward.
A lot more consistency, honestly. Like I said, the first year and a half, I feel like it's been figuring out how to be consistent. So definitely more consistency, dropping songs every month. That's what I'm gonna work on. It's gonna be a lot of singles, and then I'm gonna compile a project together. But I want to try to get singles out there first because I know that's what trends more nowadays. So a lot more music with that. The podcast itself, we're trying to get more guests. Cut Difference coming on, so definitely expect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot more genuine stuff too.
Yeah. Just
trying to be genuine all day, every day.
I respect it, bro. I respect it. Genuine connections, relationships, vibes, and at the end of the day, adding value.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
The things that you hooped. So all day when playing ball, I played lacrosse, football, whatever.
Okay, dope.
But growing, and I hooped. I played AAU when I was younger, but I was 5'3".
Oh,
so I was never really. I was just always on the bench for real. They put me.
You were a dog though, right?
I had heart. That's what my coach used to say. Oh, you got heart. But I'm well, nigga, put me in the game. But heart, I guess, doesn't translate to playing time. But I played defense. I was nice at defense, though.
Yeah, defense was my thing, too. I knew I could go up and lock someone up. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
I was smacking the floor and all that shit. But yeah, I say all that to say heart is something that you can't teach. And I think with heart comes all of the intrinsic things and the intangibles that ultimately determine the impact that you're going to have on people.
Absolutely.
And whether that's through music, whether that's through podcasting, whether that's through just being a genuine human being, that's how you're going to really, evolve. And I feel like you understand that.
Exactly.
And you notice that. So it's been a pleasure having you on, bro.
Thank you, man.
And,
I appreciate you for real.
I appreciate you, bro. And is there anything else that you wanted to mention to everybody?
Every week I post new beats that I make. So check that out on YouTube. Got some more songs that I'm posting to SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So expect a lot more from Oyetti, honestly, because we get to it around here.
Definitely. We making it happen, man. We getting
Exactly.
to it. We just had my brother Oyetti on Cut Different TV, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Be on the lookout for Cut Different and GG podcast collaboration coming real soon. You know what I'm saying? And shit, man, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. If you've been watching this whole episode all the way up until this point and you still haven't subscribed, you still haven't turned on the notification bell,
Go subscribe, bro. What are you doing? Just hit that button.
I don't know. I feel like they be pissing me off. Like when they don't.
It's like they do it on purpose.
Anyways, man, hit subscribe. You know the vibe, man. It's your boy Sebastian Ryder. Don't forget the Van Gogh. And I'm here with my brother.
Oyetti, Oyetti. Go check me out on Apple, Spotify, all that stuff.
He's everywhere, man. And go check out the GG podcast as well. Right when you get done watching this interview. Thank you for watching another episode. We out.
Get to it.